Saturday morning, All Canada Show weekend. So we're gonna do Jim Crowley from the All Canada Show is going to be with us in hour number 2 today. I know since you guys asked me to be on the show, from time to time we take the show in different directions. And yes, we'll get back to the outdoors and tailgate talk and what we do with that. But I think it's only fitting that we talk about what everybody has talked about in the last couple of days. We lost Bob Uecker. And, all week long in the game, or not all week long, the last, 48 hours or so, we've had so many tributes and so many memories. And Wags, you were part of that when the news broke on Thursday morning about what happened. Full transparency. I had known for a while that he was not in good health. I'm assuming, Wags, you knew for a while that he was not in good health. So it wasn't unexpected when I got the news Thursday morning, but man, it hurt.
Yeah.
It hurt. And so I thought it would be good, at least in this first segment, because I have the perspective of a broadcaster, someone that actually had a few times to spend with Bob. Wags, you can give a completely different perspective. And you have, I'm sure, far more respect from Bob than we would ever have, Eric. Sorry.
Yeah.
Because he played the game with him. So we'll start with you, Wags. When you heard the news, what were your thoughts? And just give us, your thoughts in the passing of the legend.
You say it like we knew at 90 years old, again, the time was going to come. We didn't think it was coming now. We thought it was coming later. We thought he's been around forever. And I correlate this with Tasker because he's so young. We always joke about him being young, not understanding something, but it doesn't matter. The game of baseball in Milwaukee is Bob Uecker. Tasker may not follow baseball as much as his dad or his brother. We just talked about his hunting expedition. Everybody knows Bob Uecker. Everybody knows his voice, whether you're a first generation, a second generation, a third, or a fourth. It doesn't matter. Baseball in Milwaukee, and nothing against the Brewers. I'm very thankful. Milwaukee baseball at times wasn't Brewer baseball. It's, Bob Uecker. It's Bob Uecker. Bob Uecker, Bob Uecker, Bob Uecker. And that's the thing that it's so overwhelming to understand that my grandfather who's passed, my dad, my brother, my children, there's so many generations that can correlate with that. And I said that to Mike Heller on his show. I said, the good thing about it is baseball can bring back our lives are up and down all over the place all the time. But at one time, during a summer, during a travel, whether you're driving up north or coming back home or just going home from work, you hear Bob Uecker's voice. And for that split second, whatever's going on bad in your life or good or whatever it is, Bob Uecker's voice brings you back to a time when you were happy, because Bob Uecker is just that consoling voice that we've heard for so many years.
I would think that it was almost at the time when this was happening, it was a little surreal for you. Now, granted, as we know, you started in Pittsburgh and then you eventually came to Milwaukee. But for a kid who grew up in Germantown and a guy that grew up listening to you, probably going to County Stadium as a kid like I did, and then to be on the field with him, I mean, that must have been surreal, huh?
Yeah, it's the time that he takes out of his schedule to get to know players. And Bob Uecker, whether you're the 25th man on the roster, who I was, whether you're bad or not very good or only there for a short period of time, he got to know each and every one of you, and he respected you thought that you and Bob Uecker were best friends. Going into spring training in Maryville, my first time with the Brewers, and knowing of who he was, but playing in Pittsburgh, remember back in those days, we didn't have interleague play. So it was very hard for a lot of people in this area, my family and friends included, to follow the National League. Everything was the Milwaukee Brewers, the Chicago White Sox, maybe the Cubs and the Twins, but nothing was Pittsburgh. And And then I get to sit there and Uke tells me things and he talks to me. And it would almost be like I played for Milwaukee for 100 years because he was that kind of polarizing individual who made everybody feel comfortable, that he cared about you and that he knew you.
You mentioned you were on with Mike Heller this week, Eric. What I thought was really interesting, Heller said, and Mike's older than us, that when you started doing the games, he was about 10 years old. He said, in my life, I don't think there's a voice that I've heard more often than Bob's. He said, not my mom, not my dad, not my wives, not my kids. It's Uke. Now, Mike's a baseball guy, you know.
Yeah.
My first encounter with Bob. Bob is my idol. Bob was the reason why I'm in what I've done for almost my entire adult life. I was lucky enough. I had family down in the Cedarburg area, and we would go to games at County Stadium. And Wags, unlike you, when I was 14, I realized I was not going to play for the Milwaukee Brewers or any major league team, no matter how hard I tried. I tried, but I knew I wasn't going to make it. But when I walked out, my first time to County Stadium, and Tim Allen has a similar story, when I walked into that stadium, I thought it was the greenest grass in the world. And I thought, how cool would it be to be here every day and doing this like Uke was, right? So now you fast forward probably 20 years, maybe 25, and I'm emceeing a banquet, and Uke is the featured speaker, right? And so I'm meeting my idol, fellas. This is the guy, right? I'm meeting him. To your point, Wags, he couldn't have been a nicer guy. So I get up, and I'm still nervous. And there's maybe 800 to 1,000 people at this banquet. It was a big deal.
No pressure.
No pressure, right? Yeah, a few Miller Lights always takes the edge off. That helps too. So I get up and I said, folks, true transparency here. It's a special night for me because I get to introduce my idol, Bob Uecker. And so Uke gets up and he looks at me and he goes, Tim, I have to tell you, first of all, thank you for the compliment. I appreciate that. But I've got two things for you. I'm like, okay. He goes, what were you thinking? Me being your idol. and I was like, okay. And the whole room loses it.
You
right?
can just hear that coming out of his mouth
then he goes,
in his voice.
He goes, secondly, of all the people in the world you could have picked as a role model, as a mentor, you chose me. I guess thanks.
Yeah. Oh, that's so great.
And then when we get done with the night, he was just a super, super nice guy. And again, I had a couple of encounters with him, not to the extent of many other people did. But, Eric, from a fan standpoint, you're born and raised here.
Yeah.
Uecker is the fabric of us, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's the, to tag on to what Mike had said, I'm 38, I'll be 39 this year. He is the voice of the Brewers for me. Yeah. It's the only voice of the Brewers that I know. And I thought this week it was really kind of cool to have a look back as Twitter or X and Instagram and Facebook and all of these different outlets have blown up with the tributes to him and all of these different highlights, and you really get a fresh reminder of all of the things that he's done.
Oh, the outfits in the 70s.
Can you imagine
watching it on YouTube? Oh my God!
Can you imagine the streaming numbers that Major League is going to do this weekend?
Oh my goodness!
That almost seems to be his most notorious thing.
You know where that movie was filmed, right?
At County Stadium.
At County Stadium, yes.
Yeah. And my parents and my brother actually went to one of the recordings. I, on the other hand, being younger, I was a part of the Mr. 3000 filming, where it was like one of those scenes or whatever.
Great Bernie Mac.
Yeah. And I just thought that it was really cool because we've all got a million memories of our favorite broadcaster, and to kind of get it scoped down to some of the things that end up being the most popular. The call of Yelich and Braun going back to back, and the calls, all of the hilarious calls that he had during Major League. I mean, just all of those things that kind of get brought back to the forefront for us. I thought it was really cool just to see that, because it's just a simple reminder of just what a legacy he had.
Look at his post-series interviews now. Now look at these individuals differently when they're hugging Uecker and talking to Uecker. And again, you knew that it was a shorter. I think the players realized it. You see him whenever he could come into Miller Park. He didn't show up every day. When he started to show up, or when he did show up, you could see that.
But also one of the spokespeople of the All Canada show,
yeah,
Jim Crowley.
Clarify now.
Yeah, I guess I'm not sure what the actual technical term is.
The people who talk at the seminar.
Yeah, Jim Crowley from Jim Crowley Outdoors is with us. Jim, welcome to the show.
Good morning, guys. Great to be here.
Yeah, it's good to have you. We were kind of talking off air about how we're kind of going through this transition of old studio, new studio, random studio, finding our home base, and so we appreciate your patience as we kind of got things up and running here. But so you've got to be excited. We're kicking off the All Canada Show series this weekend, and what can you tell us about this year's show, just as kind of like a foundation of the conversation, just to kind of get things started?
I mean, the All Canada Show has been around forever, and I love coming to Wisconsin. I'm there numerous times every year, and I love coming to Milwaukee. That venue there at the Brookfield Conference Center is absolutely incredible. It's one of my favorite venues that I get to speak all over the Midwest, and it's one of my favorite ones to come to. And we're excited to be back again with the All Canada Show. We'll be there 3 days. Friday we'll be there 3 to 8, Saturday 10 to 6. And Sunday, 10 to 3. So we've got a bunch of great seminars. There's over 75 lodges and outfitters that are going to be represented there. So when people want to go to Canada, Milwaukee, this is your place. I mean, you're going to be talking to the lodge owners and outfitters. There's no gutter salesmen or Ginsu knives there. We're here from Canada, and we want to talk to you and see when you can plan your next adventure.
So here's what Wags and I really want to know, first and foremost. Labatt's Blue, is it back? That's what we want to know.
Well, you know what? Why didn't I say that first? Heck yeah.
Yes.
All right. Oh, that's funny.
You know what? I always tell people this every year, man. I do a couple seminars each day, and before you come to see me, drink up because I get funnier. And Labatt's is the way to go.
So the visitors or the people attending the show, the attendees should drink up, not you drink up, or would it work kind of in like
hand in hand
exponentially there then if you're both drinking?
No, it would. It's better if they drink. I get
okay.
beers all the time during, and I appreciate that from fans and everything like that. But I'll go. You know what? I'll save this till after the show's over. You guys have a ball, and I think the experience would be a lot better for them.
You know, Wags, a little shore lunch. Yeah. You get that catch in the morning. You roll that up into a little batter that's got some Labatt's mixed into it. That's good eating, isn't it?
That's my beer batter. That's a beer batter choice. That's a choice of the good ones. Choice of the good ones.
You guys are experienced. There's no doubt there.
Jim, I got a quick question for you. I don't know if I'm going to overstep E or anything like that, but I guess the biggest thing I want to know is we are post-COVID. We're post-COVID, and the restrictions that were in place prior to, then COVID hits, and now relinquished to an extent. Is it full bore? Is it open? If I go up there, let's just say I find a nice outfitter, I sign a nice lodge, I want to go up there for 5 to 6 days. We want to have a great time. I want to bring the boys. We're going to, let's just say, not even flying. We're going to drive up over the border and then take a short jaunt to our facility. What are we allowed to, what are the stipulations, or is everything back to, let's just say, normal?
Yeah, it's back to normal. I wouldn't go when they had restrictions on it. And I've been going to Canada for about 50 years now, and I wouldn't go during the restrictions. So it's completely open. We went 3 times last year, filming different things from my other show. Anyway, and all you needed is a passport to go fishing. It was easy. They asked you about 7 or 8 questions at the border, and it was great. We got through probably each time in about 5 to 7 minutes.
Gotcha.
So there's absolutely no restrictions. We went up, just Canada's open, just go.
Yeah, I think that's one of the misconceptions, I don't know, at least that I had before I went to Canada was, you got to have all of your ducks in a row, and now they've got the app where they make it super easy for you to be able to actually fill out the majority of your paperwork beforehand. Well, we went through, I think it's Rainy River is the border crossing that we went through, and just like you said, I mean, just a couple minutes, check kind of. We were lucky. They didn't really check our coolers, so maybe we could have brought a couple extra cans of beer because I don't know if you guys know this, but you're restricted per person how many beverages you can actually bring across the border. And I've heard that they're very strict about that, but it's, I don't know, it's kind of nice. And I'm thinking, I should have brought a bigger bottle. What was I thinking?
I'm not sure where you we crossed going up into Winnipeg.
Okay.
And we were with I apologize, Jim. We were with a baseball team. And we crossed into the border, and we had coolers with trainers. We had coolers with the boys with their beverages.
Sure.
We got through there pretty smoothly. So I didn't know if obviously our HR people or our coordinators phoned up. They were expecting us. We went into the garage. They just made sure there was nothing funky on the bus or underneath it. I believe they just did a surveillance, and then we moved forward. So it was pretty simple.
Real quick, I want to jump in here, and I know Wags was asking about, how things have been post-COVID. Wildfires were a huge problem. I mean, they're a huge problem now in the States and California, but many of us suffered through a summer or 2 summers worth of smoke here in the States that originated from Canada. Has that impacted anything up north?
No, not where I've been. Now, did it maybe impact some lodge owners or something? I'm sure there were some people around there, maybe some of their outpost camps, but I didn't hear any of it last year, and I haven't heard from any of my friends. I have a lot of lodge owners up there that are friends of mine. It doesn't mean that it didn't happen. I'm sure I've been up there before when wildfires have happened. And but from this year, every stop we make with the All Canada show, every booth is sold out for all 3 shows. That's an awesome sign that the economy is. People are encouraged by it, and I don't think anything is stopping them. They want us coming up there, and there's a lot of people who are ready to go.
And you kind of alluded to the fact that you don't have the Ginsu knives or the Cutco or windows and doors or whatever it might be.
ShamWow guy.
It's that's really refreshing to hear.
Hey, man, those things work.
Oh, I know. Well, they all work, especially while you're at the booth.
Hey, don't laugh at the scrub daddy, okay?
Yeah. It's refreshing because I think that's one of the gripes that I hear from a lot of people about these shows, like say the other sports show that's in Milwaukee, is that it seems to be more and more trending towards that. So is there any key to getting those people back in, or you just think that it's, kind of based on the economy, that people want to, have the ability to travel a little more and they want to get down here and they want to have FaceTime with potential consumers?
Yeah, I think, as far as the crowd coming to the show, it still reminds me of the old school way how we used to book a trip, right? You'd go and talk with somebody, you'd call them on the phone. The best thing about this is you can come face to face with the lodge owners and spend your day there. You're not just going through the internet. I think it's a lot more friendly for consumers that are looking to buy, because this is where you can really do your research and your thing. So having a show that is strictly about what you're interested in my opinion, that's why these shows are some of the busiest ones that I do every year, and they are jam-packed.
100%.
And the reason is because people know what to expect when they get there. They're not going to be advertised to death, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, nobody's going to say, hey, you need gutters or something. No. These lodge owners are thrilled that you're there, and you can actually go up and look to them face to face and talk with them, and that's the product that you're interested in. You're not interested in the other stuff, and the other stuff is not there.
Yeah. It's interesting you say that, because for years when the show was, and it may be still in the Madison market, but when it was made the Madison stop, I broadcasted live from the floor. And what blew me away was exactly what you said, Jim, is that when you went to a booth, you met the lodge owners. And when you arrived, these are the people that are greeting you. Big. I mean that's really unique if you think about it.
And we also have, if we're just talking from the seminar point, we've got some of the best seminar speakers that specialize in things in Canada. And, we already said I'm going to be there. Chase Parsons from Next Bite TV, professional walleye angler. He's going to be there talking about techniques to catch walleyes in Canada. Tyler and Sarah Trampy, host of Sportsman's Journal, they are 2 wonderful people, and both very, very informative with their seminars. And that is the one cool thing. With all of us being there, we're going to be walking around the show and doing other things too. So I get stopped all the time. And, hey, can you answer questions? Yeah, we want to answer those questions. That's what we're there for. This is a really exciting part of the year for us because through the All-Canada venue, we get to talk fishing all day long. That's what we want to do.
Yeah.
So especially when we come to Milwaukee, it's so much fun to, hey, I tried this. You told me last year it worked. My kid caught a fish on this. Man, that makes my day.
Yeah.
That's why we love these people coming there because it's fun.
Well, and it kind of gets you just really excited for the season. I don't know how much ice fishing you might do, but, we're fortunate this year that we've actually got some ice. And, last year it was kind of that time of the year where everybody was just kind of, sitting on all their gear and they didn't have much to do. So it kind of like reignites that fire to talk about fishing and to get excited for the season and to start planning those trips. When you had kind of mentioned that about, actually being face to face with them, I mean, sometimes that's what it comes down to because there's a lot of options. There's probably a lot of good places. There's probably thousands and thousands of pictures of beautiful fish that people can catch because there's abundance of them up north. Sometimes that's what it comes down to when you actually just meet with one of these lodge owners or listen to kind of what they have to say. What can people expect? Are they, it's probably different for everybody, right? But what can people expect when they have those conversations? Do they typically book right there at the show? Or are they gathering information? What can they kind of come away with from, a DIY or a fully planned trip to Canada with these guides?
Yeah, now you can book it anytime you want, but there's a major incentive at the show if you book it there. And All Canada has something called You Book It, We Buy It. Anyone who books a Canadian vacation at the show, they become eligible to have it paid for by the All Canada show.
How cool is that?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so somebody's name is going to get drawn and go, hey, guess what? Your party of 4 or whatever, we're buying your trip.
I think we should we should gamble with the whole radio station.
Here's the thing, Jim. Yeah, I love that. It's not going to happen, but I love it. Jim, here's what I experienced, right? Real quick, Jim, here's what I experienced. Is that what happens with this, Eric, is that people book their trips at the All Canada show. One, because it's cheaper, and two, it's amazing you watch this and you walk the booths, and it's not like first-time people wags. It is people who are like, hey, Mark and Beverly, great to see you again. Okay, these are the weekends we're looking for, the week we're looking at. Can we work it? And it's like old friends week when you watch people coming up to these different exhibitors. That's what I think makes the All Canada show, Jim, different from everything else.
And that is a great example because there's a lodge I've been going to for 20 years. We're friends.
That's nice.
We're just friends. And I've got lodges there that I haven't been to. I've been seeing so many of these people for over the years that we're friends anyway. And so we go in and talk. And so I can literally tell people I haven't been there, but, man, I have really heard a lot of great things about them. Or I've been here, and here's what you need to bring when you go, depending on when you're going. And we just sit there and talk. That's what's so cool about this thing. Another really neat thing, opening night, Friday night, is Daredevil Lure Night. So everybody who walks in, the All Canada show has had a tradition over all these years that they give a different Daredevil away. There are people who come every year with their entire collection to show it off. It's really cool. They've been coming for 25, 30 years and have a different lure from each year. And I do want to tell you one more thing about the show hours, just so I get this in, because this is important. We talked about the show hours, but Sunday, January 19th, all veterans get in free. We do that across wherever we stop at the All Canada show. And I think that's really awesome because Sunday is a really cool day. And it's jam-packed with all of our veterans. And it's just a really, really fun way to give them a little thank you. Come on in, enjoy it, have some beer, and guess what? Your admission's free.
I had a story. When you said the Daredevil lure, I had some friends that went up there. And obviously you fish to whether it's the northern pike or whether it was the walleye or whatever. But the outfitter found out that something was hitting better. And I always take that Daredevil, that blade. I usually they're either white, they're red and white or black and white. And I remember a bunch of guys telling me that they had all these red and white ones, but red and white wasn't working. So they took black Sharpies and they literally blacked the whole red out, and you could literally see when they came home teeth marks in these daredevils and scrapes of the paint and everything off of them because black was hitting and red wasn't.
Wow.
That's amazing.
It's weird how it can get like that. I don't put a whole bunch of emphasis on color. I always concentrate more on depth and retrieve speed first, but there are times that there are certain colors, no question, that I do bring to Canada because I know better than not that they're going to catch. There was years ago we were filming a show on smallmouth bass up on Eagle Lake, and we caught literally 165 smallmouth in a couple days on black hair jigs. And so I did the post, and some of these smallmouth are really, nice 4.5, 5 pound fish. And so I did a post on it on social media. And before we left the camp, there were people coming in as we were leaving. I had one left.
Wow.
And they're like, can we see that? And so then I gave markers to a couple of people that I had. Literally, they were sitting in the entrance of the lodge while I was talking to them, taking their white hair jigs and coloring with black markers.
Wow. That is crazy. Jim Crowley from the All Canada Show. It's going to be here this weekend. Jim, a couple of things, and again, like I've said, I've danced with you guys a few times over the years. I think a couple of things that I want to stress before we let you go is that when you think about Canada and you're going, man, I can't afford that. One of the things I learned about this is that there is a budget for everybody. Plus, a lot of times you hear the American plan. So two things, budgetary, you can work with people. Secondly, kind of give us what the American plan means, because it's out there. You can see it in print and like American plan. What's that? What does that mean? Does that mean that, I get a flag with my breakfast wags and, they play the national anthem? What does that mean?
Yeah, and Star Spangled Shores, all that.
There you go. Yeah.
So the American plan is where the lodge provides the food. Okay, so they provide all your meals, probably going to be a shore lunch there from your guides. In some lodges, boat and motor, some not. You just have to look. But basically, American plan means that your meals are provided. Housekeeping is more of your budget type thing, where you bring your own food. You have outpost camps, which on some of the fly-ins, for example, are going to be the cheapest way to still get incredible fishing. You're just not going to have like everything at the main lodge. I've done outposts before. You bring all your food, you have a weight, you bring so much tackle, blah, 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 and you get to do that. So I always tell people when you are looking to go to Canada, one of the first things you should decide on is what's your budget going to be. And I guarantee you, especially with the drive-in, there's going to be things that fit everybody. You're going to have different distances, how long you can go. Maybe you're considering gas, okay? Find them a little bit closer to over the border. It doesn't matter. Every lodge has their own specific thing that you can find something where you go, hey, I'm going to go fishing here, but I don't have to spend a whole ton of money. Then you can go as fancy as you want. I've been to places where you get the Wall Street Journal put on your table every morning. I don't need any of that, but I've seen it done. But is there anything for everybody's budget? Definitely.
Well, you say with everybody's budget, as we just asked. What about for families? Like I've seen this with hunting expeditions where you can come and hunt dove. Let's just make this up. I can go hunt dove in Argentina. I'm a hunter, and it's going to cost me $500 a day. But if I bring my wife or my spouse, she will not hunt, but for lodging and expeditions that they have set aside for the females, she will pay $200, and she can do something else. Are you seeing any more of the inclusion of a full family, a husband and wife, or a girlfriend or something like that? Or are you still seeing the majority of, hey, 4 or 5 guys want to get together and catch as many fish as they can?
I will honestly say the last 2 years it's been more of a mix, and it's been awesome to see. There's a lot more kids at the show.
Yeah.
There is. And what I really like seeing is grandpa and grandson or granddaughter. I see that a lot. Also, I've seen 3 generations, grandfather, father, and son. And I've seen that more in the last 2 years than I did prior to everything else. And this year, I expect to see even more. I'm really, really excited about that. I love having kids at the show. There's a couple great things there for the kids to do, too. There's that All Canada Show photo booth, and that is funny as anything. They get their picture taken with, like, a Mountie, or they can hug a black bear, or it's crazy stuff. There's just all kinds of goofy props that they can use, and it's more fun inclusion stuff for the kids that they can do while they're there to keep their attention, right? And so I'm definitely seeing a lot more family stuff. Great question. And yeah, there definitely is.
Jim, is there anything? I think that we've covered a lot of it. I guess I want to just first start off by saying, but in our final, 60, 90 seconds that we have with you here, is there anything else that you specifically wanted to point out? And then maybe just also touch on show hours again, where to buy tickets, how much are tickets, and
where
some of that information.
Where they can meet you too. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Here you go. One thing I forgot, grand prize trip giveaway. It's a fantastic all-inclusive fishing trip for two to Guardian Eagle Resort in Ontario. Awesome, awesome place. Total retail value, $10,000 to $11,000. How about that? Somebody's going to win that. The Canada Questions booth, that's where you got staff from all Canada there specifically in that booth for whoever comes to that show, answer your questions. They will tell you where to go. They will tell you how to get there. They will answer anything you want.
I was just sitting there listening to Jim Crowley in the All Canada show, and I'm like,
I mean, I'm all in favor of it as long as we can bring unlimited amounts of beverages.
Well, you know what?
Fish back
and guess what? If I think that probably won't be an issue if that would eventually happen.
Yeah.
The only person I would like to see at the All Canada show outside of the lodge owners, and the experts like Jim. And I know you don't want to see the Ginsu knife guy. You don't want to see the ShamWow guy, right? Man, I would like to meet some of the people on ice road truckers.
Oh, man.
Those people I would like to meet. Wouldn't you like to meet those guys?
Isn't it
guys
amazing?
and gals.
These guys do this for a living.
Yes.
And then we get a flurry in the morning overnight with cold weather, and it took me over an hour to get to the office this week. It's like, I just don't understand. There was a guy spun out on Moreland. I thought he was on one of the tee boxes of the golf course and took two cars with him.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Meanwhile, in Canada, dudes are driving at 20 miles an hour, and their doors are open just in case they go through the ice so they can dive out.
50,000 pounds on that trailer.
Yes.
It's just
Windows. Why is your window open? It's -5, so I can get the hell out of it.
Yeah.
And so the thing is, I went in when I first saw this back in the day. I'm like, yeah, right. This is some type of thing they put together for TV. And then I kind of became KB, and I fell in that rabbit hole, and I really dived deep and studied it and read up on it. This stuff's real. And then I talked to my dad, who was a truck driver for most of his life. I asked Dad about it. He goes, oh, yeah. He said, there are guys I used to work with back in the day. They were crazier than hell, but they would go up to Canada because, they can make a huge amount of money in a short period of time, and then they don't have to work for the summer. He says, I'm not going to do that. But he says,
yeah, they could just fish all summer then.
Yeah.
Them are some heavy loads. Them loggers, those logging roads.
Yes.
No, I don't even like backing up my boat. I couldn't imagine.
That's just crazy, isn't it? So I would love to see those people at the show. One of those guys.
And we have to have the guys or the women who have those little packets, and you mix them with sour cream and mayo, and you dip your pretzels in. Yeah, they have to be there.
The spice and sauce guys and soup.
The soup guys, but these are the ones that you take the sour cream and mayo and you just mix it with this powder and you dip pretzels in it. Like, they have to kick me out. They hand me these pretzel sticks and I got like sour cream and all this crap on my face. Paul, sir, you've had enough. Can I just take that one?
So as an aside, right? Man. I'm always fascinated, and it's probably in the end what will kill us all. But you guys like gravy? You like gravy? You a fan of gravy?
I'm a gravy guy.
You're a gravy guy? Okay. So my wife and I had stuffed pork chops the other night, right? And I said, well, I want some gravy on it because it's got stuffing in it. So I'm a stuffing guy, that I always want gravy on my stuffing. I don't like it without.
Sure.
And so she says, well, just pick up a packet at the store. And I'm thinking, how I watched my grandmother do it and my mom do it. And Dawn's like, just pick up a packet at the store. So she worked late, so I cooked the other night, and I made the pork chops. And so I'm looking at the packet. And it's just like, add water, get out your whisk, and stir it. About, cook it medium heat, and then let it sit. And so I'm sitting there, and I'm doing this, and the phone rings, so I go and I talk to one of the kids for a few minutes, and I come back, and that gravy is just as good as Grandma made. And I'm thinking to myself, this came in a damn packet.
Yeah.
Isn't technology great? Now, again, this technology may kill us all.
Right.
But I'm going, to your point, Paul. And then I'm like, we get done and we still have some gravy left. And Dawn's like, well, let's just throw that out. I go, hell no, save that gravy. I'll put it on something else. Yeah. But it's a little packet. It's crazy.
Yep.
Crazy.
Yeah, they're just well, it's just like those sweeteners, like those squeezers or whatever you can put in your water. You put 3 drops in and it's 32 ounces. That tastes like a soda. I don't know. We're kind of going off on a tangent here, but I follow this guy on Instagram that posted something yesterday that kind of really irked me because it talked about I don't know what kind of cutting boards you guys use. I won't judge you for whatever you're going to use.
Bamboo.
But
we have bamboo.
So,
do you?
Yeah, my wife has to have bamboo.
That's your thing. I would prefer a polypropylene, like the fish cutting boards.
Yeah, we use
because you can actually clean those.
We have 2 of them, 2 bamboo ones.
Yeah, so he
don't ask me why. I just say, okay, I'll get you a bamboo one.
It's just plastic.
Matter of fact, we got one for Christmas from the kids. Have you seen these that are shaped in the state of Wisconsin?
Oh, yeah, I have.
Yeah, you have one of those?
I have those. I've seen them. I've seen them.
We got one of those for Christmas.
And then he doubles as a cribbage board, too?
Yeah, that too, yeah.
I have one of those. The state of Wisconsin cribbage board. It said that if you use those, the polypropylene ones or the plastic cutting boards, you ingest over 50 grams of microplastics every year. And that you should be using wood cutting boards. The problem is wood is like your oak or whatever your normal cutting boards are. Wood is a soft, porous wood or material that soaks and harbors germs. So I just can't believe that this guy who's such a health conscious nut is telling people to use wood cutting boards. I was so offended by that. I don't know how we got here, but it just
went from
really
gravy
bothered
packets.
We started talking about the kitchen, and it was something that really just kind of boiled my blood this week.
Glass, stone, or wood? Yeah, I'm just saying the healthiest cutting board material. Glass. Why would glass be on there?
So we had back in the
day. As long as you sharpen your knives all the time.
So now, when I was a kid, this is in the 70s, so Paul can relate to this. There was many things in fashion back then that were not. And my dad had our kitchen completely redone for my mom, right? So back then you had built-in, I suppose you do today as well, but back then we had a custom in the countertop cutting board.
Yeah, we used to have those. You don't.
Okay, but it was kind of a what's the word? Propylene, plastic, whatever it was, right? But it was the sign of the zodiac.
Oh, really?
And so you could have decorative different things made, right? And ours was the zodiac sign. Like the calendar, the different stores of the month and the zodiac. And that's for years. That was right in the middle of the countertop.
And you remember how big those were? They were probably...
Oh, they were huge.
They were huge. And I still have them. We remodeled the house a long time ago. And I took the cutting board out. And I use it now it's in my garage. And when you come over, when you shoot a turkey, all my turkeys are breasted out on that old cutting board.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we're starting 2025 with optimism. Did you hear what he said? When you shoot a turkey this year.
This moment of cutting board talk has been brought to you by Monsanto. Monsanto.
That's right. If you want to know how much 50 grams of plastics is, that's 10 of your credit or debit cards a year that we're eating because we're using plastic cutting boards.
That's a good way to wrap up the show.
I don't believe it.
So we cannot go into great detail at all. But I'm going to do, and Wags don't slap me here when I say this, I'm going to do a professional tease. Paul and I had a great meeting this week with a charity for Wings for Wags, or Wings with Wags. And we have coming soon, a major announcement about this. And I've had to take him literally by the hand, and I've had to say, trust me on this, right? But we are going to inject it with steroids a little bit. And we've got some great partnerships that we're excited about to announce. But I'm proud of what he's built the last couple of years. And you were absent derelict in duty last year. I was out with Wags hanging out.
That's right.
Oh, you were.
Yeah,
You didn't
missed it.
show up.
I kept on texting him, "Where are you? Where are you?"
Yeah, me and Sherry decided to take a right-hand turn instead of a left-hand turn.
We had a good time.
I remember that now.
So I'm excited. I know, Paul, that you're nervous, but you're excited about it.
Yeah. I am nervous about it, and I've been nervous about expanding everything for a long time now, and I've relayed that to you, and you feel more comfortable in a smaller area. No expectations aren't too great, and now we're venturing into. I'm actually walking on ice that we haven't measured yet, so I'm going to make sure we call Rez and I get a floaty for sure.
Yeah.
So there will be with this year's event, and I'll just drop one little nugget. The great Steve Zabin is going to be part of this year's event.
Wow.
Yes. And we have more details to come on that. It's going to be fun. We're looking forward to it, man.
Honestly, I thought he was going to say the great Eric Tasker was going to be a part of it this year, but
well,
we weren't sure.
Zabe works.
See, that was part of it. That was part of it that I had to say it that way to get him to come out to the event. So
the Tasker family will be there with the new dog.
Yeah.
New dog.
Yeah.
But we had great meetings this week, and I'm excited about it. And Wags, it's just you've done such amazing things over the years, and I've watched this thing grow with you, and I'm so proud of you. And I'm like, you know what? Let's step up from our side and help you grow this thing a little bit. And,
thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, so it's exciting, and we'll have more details on that as we go along here in the coming weeks. So
nice.
Cool deal.